In this video, I will tell you about using the quick select tool of AutoCAD. So right now we have all of these drawings here and they are simply the circles of different radii. So in this case, the smallest circle is of radius 0.3 unit and the largest has a radius of 1.8 unit. Now also these circles are placed on different layers. So when you go to this layer drop down, you'll see that we have these three layers apart from the layer 0, and the color of that layer has been assigned as per its name. So the cyan layer has cyan color, green has green color, and red has red color, and the objects are also placed on their appropriate layers. Now let's say that we want to make a selection of all the objects on red layer. Now for that you can obviously do a manual selection, but that will take time and it can also lead to some errors if you have a very complex drawing. In this case we have a fairly small drawing, so you can make the selection manually as well, but for large drawings this becomes a really hectic and error prone task, and for that you can use quick select tool. So I'll start the quick select tool from the utilities panel. So go to this panel, select this quick select, and this quick select window will start. You can use its command equivalent Q select as well. So once the command is active, select the parameters. So in this case, we want to select all of the objects on red layer. So for that, I'll first select the entire drawing because we want to make the selection from this complete drawing. Now obviously we only have the circle here, so here in this drop down you'll only see circles. But if you have lots of different objects, those objects will be visible in the drop down and you can select the type of object which you want to include in your selection set. Now we want to make the selection as per layer. So I'll select layer in the properties and now I'll select the operator. So obviously in this case, equal operator should be selected because we want to make a selection of red layer. And here in the value, select red. So in value, you'll see all the layers which are present in the drawing. So select red. And now here, how to apply option will be visible. And in this case, select this radio button, include in new selection set. Also make sure append to current selection set is unchecked. Click on OK. And there we have it. All the objects on red layer are now selected. Now let's do this again, but with a slightly different properties. So I'll go to quick select, and in this case, I'll select entire drawing, circle, layer, and we don't want to select the objects on red layer, but we want to select all the objects which are not on red layer. For that, you can simply select not equal operator and now simply click on OK. And there we have it. So all of the objects except the object of layer red are selected. There is also a different method of making this kind of selection. So I'll go to utilities again, click on this quick select, and in this case I'll select layer again, I'll select equal, I'll select red, but in this case I'll select exclude from selection set. So everything which should be included in the selection set, that means all the objects of this red layer will be excluded and the remaining objects will be selected. So let's click on OK. And there we have it. We still have the same selection set which we obtained with the previous conditions. Now let's make the selection on a different criteria. Now let's say that we want to make a selection of all of the circles in this drawing which has radius greater than 1 unit. For that, I'll once again go to this quick select, and now I'll select entire drawing, circle, and now we are making the selection based on the radius. So I'll scroll down in this list and select radius. Now we need to ensure that the radius should be greater than 1. So go to this drop down and select greater than, and in the value type 1. Now obviously here you need to select include in the new selection set and click on OK. And there we have it. So all of the circles with radius greater than 1 unit are selected, and you can clearly see that they are on variety of different layers. Now let's say that we have already made a selection set here, and it's quite a random selection set with small and large circles. And now we want to add more objects in this selection set. So you can do that as well. So I'll once again go to utilities, quick select, and in this case I'll make a selection set of all of the circles with radius less than 0.9 unit. So I'll once again go to radius and I'll select less than, and I'll select 0.9. Now in this case, we have this option, append to current selection. So make sure this is checked. So when you keep this option checked, all of these objects which are already selected and they are obviously not fulfilling these criterias, they will also remain in the selection set that will fulfill this criteria. And once you have checked this, make sure that all of these settings are unchanged, they are still the same, and then click on OK. So there we have it. We have new objects in this selection set. So all of these objects are still selected, but new objects which fulfill the criteria are also added. So in this way, you can make clever selections from your AutoCAD drawing, and this can reduce errors and make a selection faster in AutoCAD.